Right, this one's a spicy one. And I mean spicy in the most disturbing way possible. Right, I'm still trying to process this one. A 50-year-old motel manager, he gets his head cut off with a machete because he told his employee not to use a broken washing machine. Not just killed, bloody beheaded in front of his wife and son. And the killer? A Cuban immigrant with 14 previous arrests who was released from ICE custody because Cuba wouldn't take him back. The CCTV shows him kicking the victim's head like a football before dumping it in a dumpster. Let's jump into it. This case is absolutely mental, so let's jump into it. Meet Chandra Mouli, 50 years old, Indian immigrant, motel manager at Downtown Suites in Dallas, a husband and a father. By all accounts, he was just trying to run his business properly when he gave a simple instruction about a broken washing machine. Then we've got Yordanis Cobos-Martinez, 37 years old, Cuban national, with what Homeland Security calls a rap sheet including child sex abuse, grand theft auto, false imprisonment and carjacking, 14 previous arrests, someone who's been cycling through the system for years. But here's where it gets properly crazy. Cobos was released from ICE custody in January 2025 because Cuba, they wouldn't accept him back due to his criminal history. He was literally too dangerous for his own country to take back, so America kept him, and now a man is dead. September the 10th, 2025, Downtown Suites Motel in Dallas. Chandra was just doing standard manager duties, checking on his property, giving instructions to staff. He found Yordanis and a female housekeeper cleaning a room and told them not to use a broken washing machine. You see, pretty standard, right? Don't use the broken machine until it's fixed. It's just basic management. But here's where it gets properly mental. Chandra, he didn't speak directly to Yordanis about the washing machine. He spoke to the female employee who translated. That's it. That was the disrespect that triggered everything. According to the arrest affidavit, Yordanis, he became upset at this perceived slight of not being addressed directly. He felt disrespected because his boss didn't speak to him personally about a bloody washing machine. The CCTV footage shows what happens next, and it's absolutely chilling. After the translation incident, Yordanis leaves the room, but he doesn't just storm off to cool down. He goes to his room and retrieves a 2-foot machete. You see, that's a proper weapon, not some kitchen knife. He returns with this massive blade and just starts attacking Chandra without warning. No further argument, no escalation, just straight to attempted murder. So let's look at the timeline. Morning of September the 10th, the washing machine instruction given minutes later. Yordanis retrieves machete from room, and then 2-minute rampage. Multiple stabbings, beheading, disposal same day. He was arrested fleeing scene covered in blood. But here's what makes this even more horrific. Chandra doesn't just stand there. The footage shows him running towards the motel office where his wife and 16-year-old son are located. He's literally just trying to reach his family while being hacked with a machete. This is where this case becomes absolutely unbearable. Chandra's wife and 16-year-old son were in the motel office. They heard the commotion, saw Chandra running towards them covered in blood, with Yordanis chasing him with a machete. According to the affidavit, Chandra's wife and son tried to intervene several times, but Cobos-Martinez pushed them away and continued the attack. Can you imagine watching your husband, your father, being murdered and just being powerless to stop it? A 16-year-old boy trying to save his dad from a man with a 2-foot machete. The screams captured on CCTV, well, that's trauma that will last forever. What happened next goes beyond anything remotely human. After the initial attack, Yordanis, he took Chandra's keycard and cell phone like some demented trophy collection. Then he resumed the attack. He continued cutting and stabbing until Chandra's head was removed from his body. Not accidentally severed, deliberately removed with multiple strikes while the man's family watched. But here's the part that is absolutely disturbing. After beheading Chandra, Yordanis kicked his head twice across the bloody parking lot like a soccer ball. Then he goes and walks over to it, picks it up and carries it to a dumpster and dumps it like it's trash. A human being's head treated like literal garbage. The dehumanization is bloody off the charts. Dallas Fire Rescue happened to be passing as this horror show ended. They saw Yordanis walking away, still carrying the bloody machete, still covered in blood, still carrying Chandra's phone. Police caught him in a block away. No chase, no resistance. He still had the weapon, the victim's property, and blood all over him. In his police interview, he admitted to killing without a lawyer present. The evidence is overwhelming. CCTV footage, a murder weapon, victim's property, a confession, physical evidence. This isn't a whodunit, it's why did someone get released 14 times to finally commit the ultimate crime? What was he actually doing with a 2-foot machete in his room in the first place? Premeditated? Maybe. Here's where this case becomes a political firestorm. Yordanis Cobos-Martinez is a Cuban national with a final removal order who was released from ICE custody on January the 13th, 2025. Because, and I state this, because Cuba refused to take him back. His rap sheet includes child sex abuse, grand theft auto, false imprisonment and carjacking, 14 previous arrests. Cuba just looked at his record and said, nope, not having him. He can stay. A country with its own crime problems refused to accept him because he's too bloody dangerous. So instead of finding alternatives, the system did what it always does. It just released him into the community with supervision. That clearly wasn't working. The timing is crucial. Yordanis was released during the final days of the Biden administration, and the Trump team is making this centerpiece of their immigration policy. ICE released a statement. This barbaric criminal was released because Cuba, they would not accept him because of his criminal history. This gruesome, savage slaying was completely preventable if this criminal illegal alien was not released into our country by the Biden administration. The new administration is using this case to justify sending deportees to third countries like Eswatini, Uganda or South Sudan if their home countries just won't take them back. But here's a question I want to ask you. If we can't deport dangerous criminals and we can't keep them locked off indefinitely, what do you actually do with them? Every system designed to protect people failed. The criminal justice, this cop 14 arrests, multiple felonies, and still free. The immigration system is too dangerous for Cuba, so release him here. The employment system, hiring violent criminals at family businesses. Public safety, it failed to protect a man just doing his job. This isn't just one system failing, it's a systematic failure across every level that should have prevented this tragedy. Like always, Yordanis' family is already setting up the mental health defense. His mother claims he had issues since arriving in 2016, served 5 years in prison, lived homeless for 2 years, and she tried unsuccessfully to get him in treatment. But here's what bothers me. Mental illness doesn't make you decapitate someone over a washing machine dispute. If he was that dangerous, why wasn't he just getting help? Why wasn't this flagged during his 14 previous arrests? The timing? Wow, it's too bloody convenient. Suddenly he's mentally ill after being functional enough to hold a job for months. This case is being used by both political sides. The Conservatives say, "See, this proves we need strict deportations and border controls." The Liberals, "This shows we need better mental health treatment and humane immigration policies." And the reality? This was just bloody preventable through existing systems they've been properly implemented. The political weaponization diminishes Chandra's death and turns his family into props for messaging instead of just focusing on justice and better systems. Chandra's family described him as someone who always helped others, who loved his motel because it let him build something in America. They've started a GoFundMe, but no money compensates losing your husband, father, to such brutality. The 16-year-old who tried to save his dad will need years of therapy. Watching someone be beheaded isn't something you recover from quickly. Yordanis faces capital murder charges in Texas, which means the death penalty is possible, but his legal process will take years of hearings, appeals, mental health evaluation while the family relives their trauma. The trial will likely focus on mental state rather than guilt, since he confessed on video, but that's cold comfort to a family who knows exactly who killed their loved one. Chandra Nagamallaiah, he came to America to build a life and died because multiple systems failed in a predictable way. While politicians use his death for talking points, his family grieves and now seeks justice. The real questions: how many other dangerous people are walking free right now? Who's accountable for these system failures? What would actually prevent similar tragedies? And how do we handle immigrants too dangerous for their home countries? What I want from you: do you think this were preventable through better policies? Is the mental health defence legitimate or convenient? How should we handle cases like this in the future? This became a political weapon, but Chandra wasn't a talking point. He was a 50-year-old man who paid the ultimate price for our failures. Drop your theories below, but remember, behind every crime story is a family living with the consequences. Make sure you subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.